Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be showing you how I straighten my hair. I have a lot of it. It is very thick and very curly normally. So yes, this is a few days old, but because I straightened my hair a few days ago, but it stays just because my hair is so thick and it's never straight. So yeah, let's get into it. So I'm going to put this in fast motion just to speed the process up a little bit, because if I put it in regular motion, it would take a lot longer, and it does not have to be. So first, for prepping the hair, you're just going to brush your hair all out. I like my hair to dry naturally, completely, instead of having to use even more heat on it and blow drying it. So I make sure it's completely dry naturally, and then I brush it all out after it's split in two sides, and I put my heat protectants in it. I have two of them. One, I'm not completely sure if it works, but the other brand I know 100% works, but the other one smells good, so I just use both to be safe because I do not want to damage my hair. I make sure to put a lot on the front pieces because I know I go over those the most and they probably need it the most. And then I section out my hair one more time into quarters. So now you have 4 pieces of your hair. I like to just put the top ones up in a bun because we are not going to worry about those for a little while. And then I'm going to put the other side back up into a clip, so I literally have 1/4 of it out. So now you're going to start with adding the heat on your hair. I like to start from the back and then go from the front, but you can't really see the way I'm straightening my hair right now, so I'm going to do the back of it and then show you some of the front pieces. So I'll speed this part up and then do a better explanation once I get towards the front of my head. Okay, so we're kind of by the front now, and as you can see, I'm going to put my straightener all the way up against the side of my head. I am scared it's going to hit my head, so I make a weird face, so ignore that. I tend to do near the scalp, I guess, or just closer to my head a few times. I run over it, and then I go through and slowly flatten the whole entire piece of hair. So ignore my faces because they're a little crazy, but as I just said, I normally go through that front piece. That was a very small piece, so I didn't have to go through it as much, but closest to the head, I like to run over it a few times rather quickly, and then I do a full slow motion all throughout that piece of hair. Once I finish a section, I normally just go over it. I see what pieces are still a little wavy or curly. As I can see, that one was a little bit wavy and curly. And then I tend to do the bottoms a little bit because sometimes they don't get as straightened as the rest of the pieces, and the bottoms feel thicker than the rest of it. So I like to just go over the bottoms real quick, and so everything matches and everything's straight, and then I start on the next section. To start on the next section, I'm simply going to bring that other side of my hair that was in the clip out, and still that's just another 1/4 of my hair. So this time, just for showing/teaching purposes, I started with the front of my head, and as you can see, I'm going to go very close to my head and then go through a few times at the top and then go through once very slowly and make sure all the pieces are in line and that it's all brushed out, so I don't just make it crinkly. And I completely straighten the entire thing. That was just to show you, but I'm going to go back to the back now, and then when I get closer, I'll show you another piece slower again. So also, just so that the straightened side does not mess with the unstraightened side, I like to put it in a clip or a very loose scrunchie, just so it does not make crease marks, because after your hair has had heat used on it, it tends to stay in like the new formed shape. So if you put a tight hair tie or anything like that on it, it will crease. So that's why I like to put a light clip in it or a very loose scrunchie, just so it stays away and separated, but at the same time it doesn't crease. Okay, I skipped a little too far, but I literally just repeated right what I did on the first side on the second side, and now I'm going to put the whole entire bottom half back with the clip so it doesn't get mixed up with the top. Remember when I divided my hair into 4 sections, it was 2 on the right and 2 on the left, and each of those sections had a top and bottom, so that was 4 sections at all: right top, right bottom, left top. So now I'm going to take all of my hair out of the top and section it into the 2 halves, right and left, that I had the first time, and then I'm going to put the one side that I want to do later up, back, in a bun, clip, whatever. It doesn't matter because it's not straightened yet. Before I do that, I just like to brush it out one more time because it was just up for a good amount of time and it kind of crinkles and tangles back up, at least just for my hair. But you can do whatever you want. So now I went back in with my straightener, and the same exact process, I'm just going to keep repeating it. You're going to want to look at the box on your straightener and figure out a time and temperature that is right for you, because different temperatures work better on different hair, and you do not want to burn your hair. As you can see, this piece was a little bit harder, and I really wanted to get the part that's closest to my head completely straight, so I did a few times over the part closest to my head, and then did one big full one through the rest of my hair, and then continued to go over it a few times. That picture was, or that little clip was, a very good representation of how far my highlights grew out. Please ignore that. But yeah, so now once we get to the front pieces, these are always a lot harder for me because my curly frizzy hair gets super crazy at the front and gets super frizzy and curly. So I always have to do these pieces really good. So I take a extremely small section. I don't know if you can tell, but this is extremely small for my hair, and I go over the piece closest to my head many times, but I want all the other pieces out of the way so I don't damage those or straighten them even more and end up ruining the straighten that I already had. So as you can see, every single teeny tiny piece I am doing, I'm very close to my head. You will see me jump a few times because I don't want to say burn my head, but I do touch my head with the straightener a few times, just because it's got to get really close. And all of these super curly, crazy, frizzy pieces at the front will go away. You could also use a baby straightener, which gets those baby hairs a little bit better. For me, I know how to work my big straightener, and I think I'm using a Revlon straightener. I would have to look that up, but it's either Conair or Revlon. I think it's Revlon, but it is my favorite. Those two brands are both amazing. But it is my favorite straightener in the world. And it's so pretty, so I love it. Watch as I continue to do these super, oh, I just burned my hand. These super crazy tiny hard pieces, because they do take a long time, but I do try to get them as best as possible, and I get really close to my skin, if not touching my skin, and all the curl comes out. So I'm getting to the last part of that side super curly pieces, and it's coming out pretty good. I was kind of in a rush doing this because I had a family event to get to. So I wasn't doing the best straightening job. As you can see, it's still a little curly. I have to go through it multiple times. And I'm going to get very close to the mirror in a few seconds, just so I can see it a little better and where they start. And then I will be able to get it completely straightened out. And I am going to go over the whole thing again, like I said that I do. because I can see some pieces are still very frizzy and not so straight, and so I'm going to redo those and touch everything up. Once again, I'm going to put the 3 sections of my hair that are completely done in a clip, and I will take that last section out. So now that I have my last section almost completely straightened, I'm going to do the same thing that I did last time, but for the opposite side. As you can see, it's so curly and so frizzy, and the baby hairs get even worse. So I'm going to have to take it very, very, very slowly and do it piece by piece. I'll show you this one, and then I'll make the speed a little bit higher, just so you can see it while we're doing it, and then it'll get a little sped up so you don't have to keep watching it over and over again. So I'm going close to my head, going over it a few times just to make sure it's 100% straightened, and then I'm going to go over it completely slowly. And that one was actually a really good piece, other than that teeny tiny piece that I left out. And that one was so tiny and close to my head that I kind of just had to grab a little bit and hope for the best, and kind of hope my straightener goes onto it. But yeah, let me speed the rest of this side up. And then I'm going to do the final touch up. I'm going to get the rest of my pieces out, but before that I'm going to just clean up the side of my hair, make sure there's no waves in it, and then I'm going to let out the rest of my hair. And I just have a few tricks to make sure that it is as even and as straight as possible. So with your straightener, you can grab the back middle of your head and just take random pairs out, to make sure the back, the very complete back where you can't reach, isn't like a curly piece. You can bend over 100%, which I think I'm going to do that, and then take the curly pieces down at the very bottom and back that I might have missed, and all the pieces under there I will re-straighten, just to make sure they're 100% straight, and then I'll go through and go around my face one more time and just make sure all of it is completely straight. So then I got it all together and I wanted to do the bottoms one more time, and any part that I thought needed a little bit more, I also decided to brush it all out, because for some reason, even though my hair doesn't normally get greasy from not washing it until the 3rd or 4th day, it just felt really, really greasy. So to pull some of those hairs apart, not aggressively of course, is just to brush my hair real quick. And yeah, then the look is completely set, and I will show you in the mirror what more of it looks like with an outfit on. So I will end this video here. This is how my final results turned out, and I hope this helped you straighten your hair. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It means a lot to me. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something about straightening your hair. If you aren't subscribed to my channel already, please subscribe. And if you have not liked this video, please like it and turn on your post notifications if you want to know when I post. And yeah, see you guys next time. Bye.